Alright guys, yield farming stablecoins. Another thing I want to share with you on this video is that other than Uniswap, you can get really good results on PancakeSwap. So I showed you this position yesterday. The APR is pretty much the same, 4.5%, but it was during a weekend yesterday. Right now it's Monday, the fees already picked up, they're doubled. So I'm not sure what's happening with that, but I'm not complaining. Fees are pretty much why we yield farm, right? So this one I'm not complaining, but you can get even better results. Although Uniswap is very trustworthy, they are probably the most battle tested DEX out there, but we can also get good stuff here on PancakeSwap. PancakeSwap does a lot of farm incentives. Whenever you see this leafy icon on a liquidity pool, it means they have a cake farm. And look at these incentives. Of course, this is not stablecoins, this is ETH paired with USDC, but we're talking about a blue chip asset liquidity pool, 25% farm APR. This will not last, so these incentives will tone down as time goes by. But if you are yield farming constantly on PancakeSwap and you are paying attention to what's happening, you can move your liquidity from one pool to another or find very good yields very early on. I've told you about that a number of times here in these yield farming videos. Usually when there's new farm incentives ongoing, the first couple days, the first day at least, it's very high, and then people start moving their liquidity into the pool to enjoy the incentives, and that's where the APR starts to dilute itself. And of course, sometimes it's always a matter of it's a limited time promotion, let's call it that. They will run these incentives for a week, a couple of weeks, it pretty much depends. But let's talk about stablecoin yield farming. So look at this, euros paired with USDC. Farm APR 35%. The LP fee APR is 2.4%. It's not bad, although it's very much half of what we were getting on Uniswap. So look at this, 4.5%, and here on PancakeSwap we get 2.4%. I'm not complaining because I like to yield farm cake. So if you're looking for an opportunity to yield farm stables, this might be a good one. But for example, if you want something like USDC, USDT, or some other stables, you can also get those opportunities here on PancakeSwap. And by the way, look at this one, USDC paired with CBBTC. I'm yield farming in this pool, by the way. Look at the farm APR. It's pretty much cake right now, but you can use it to buy into the pool, to compound back into the pool, okay? But let's not get sidetracked here. So actually, I was making this video because I saw this opportunity. Syrup USDC paired with USDC, 9% APR. This is pretty much double of what I'm yielding right now on Uniswap, right? And that stable pool on Uniswap, it's also on the base network. And now I just came across this earlier on today. So USDC, USDT, Infinity pool, it's already yielding 12% APR, 7.5% comes from the farm. You see the LP fee APR is pretty much the same that I'm experiencing right now on Uniswap. But then there's the farm APR and that makes up for it. So overall 12% on this one. Now this one USDC with USD plus, this one is not yielding from farm incentives. It's pure LP fee yield, 8% APR, really good stuff. USD plus is a stablecoin that has been around for a while now, a couple of years probably at least. It's related with the overnight finance. They had their own native OVN token, which had some sort of drama, but the stablecoins that they do have, it's a different thing. And it's a rebasing coin, this USD plus, it's a rebasing coin. They have their ongoing farming vaults, and that is used to generate yield simply for just holding the USD plus. Although this is a liquidity pool, so that's a little bit of a different topic there, but it's just to give you an idea of what this token is, because you got to do some research and not just jump in blindly into a stablecoin LP if you don't know what is backing the stablecoin, right? Now if you want to stick with the big players, USDC and USDT, you have an option here on PancakeSwap on base, 12% APR right now, really good farming incentives. So let me show you also one of the things that I like about yield farming. I can come here, withdraw all of this liquidity and take it into that other pool, no questions asked. It's my money, it's on chain. I don't have to sign forms or anything. There's no KYC involved. We were talking about Uniswap, a decentralized exchange, and PancakeSwap, another decentralized exchange. So I could come here, remove liquidity, max. So I'm gonna take the whole thing out, confirm the transaction, done, liquidity removed. Now I go back here on PancakeSwap. I have this pool ready to go. I click on it and I'm gonna simply add liquidity. Now the APR is 4.2% right now. It means that I have to just tighten up a little bit, and I'm gonna do just that. remember, although it's a stablecoin pool, it can still go out of range, right? So I'm gonna do something like this. On Uniswap, they give you that predetermined 3-tick range. Here they also have their own predetermined ranges. So this is their own 3-tick range percentage, 0.1%. And you can see that because the estimated APR, it's pretty much the same, although the LP fee APR here will be much smaller, right? And if I'm just deploying the liquidity as is, I'm just yielding basically the same APR, slightly lower actually, because the other one was 4.5%, right? So I need to do something about that, and I will just tighten up this a little bit, something like this. So right now I'm at 8%, but I want to match that 4% LP fee APR that I was getting there. So I need to tighten up this a little bit more. Let's go with this 0.03%. This is a 3-tick range, I believe. Yeah. So something like this, it's looking much higher. So I'm going to go ahead and add liquidity. And notice that although I withdrew $21, 20 something dollars out of Uniswap, now since I have a 50-50 LP range, 50% above and 50% below the current market price, that's why I'm getting this exact same amount of USDC and USDT. So if I want to deposit the same $21 that I had before, I need to come here on the max price and increase it. And notice how USDC just switched, right? It was at 7, and if I increase it, I change the ratio, the balance of my deposit, and now it's closer to what I had back on Uniswap, right? Of course, this will again affect the APR. So if you want to counter that, I need to come down here and just increase slightly this lower range, something like this. And then if you want to see, so for this past week, for this past 7 days, this range performed very well. The same thing as on Uniswap. The price didn't go out of range a single time, but at some point in time it will. The good thing about these stable pools is that even if it goes out of range, you just wait it out. Sometimes it will bounce back in the day after, so don't panic over it. They're stable coins. These are among the lowest risk plays in DeFi right now, okay? So once you're happy with everything, you just go ahead and deposit, add liquidity, sign in, confirm the transaction. All right, so we're in 11%, 12% APR right now, farming this pool. If you get some sort of error, they will tell you to increase your slippage. But usually I only get that error if I make my ranges very, very tight. You see, predetermined, they have 0.1%. So if I make something like this, very, very tight, I will get that error message and the transaction will fail every time. So just increase your ranges, or if not, just keep insisting. You'll get it through eventually. So now if I come here, farm liquidity, my positions, and here we have it. I increased my APR substantially, pretty much because of the farm incentives. The LP fee APR here, it's still lower than what I was getting on Uniswap, but overall I'm up because of those juicy farm incentives. If you see, this pool is an infinity pool. This is the equivalent to a V4 pool on Uniswap. And also one thing that I want to address, the liquidity that I deploy here is $15. And the reason is the ranges above and below the price that I was telling you earlier. So in this case, I can go and swap the remaining USDC that I have in my wallet for USDT and come here, deploy it, because this position is now 50-50, right? So if I want to deploy the liquidity like that, I just come here to the plus icon. So I have what? $5 here in the wallet, $6. Some pools will have a zap in feature. It's not the case with this one. So I have to do that manually, right? So I gotta go swap the tokens, half and half. So where do I have USDT? Here it is. And what I want is USDT, right? Swap is done. Let me go back on the farms, my positions. All right, so here we go. I just need to click the plus button, max, like so, add. I see I'm getting this slippage error. Okay, so I increased slippage. Now everything went through. This is already farming. So now it's just a matter of time waiting, harvesting, deposit more. Or if you find other pools that are more profitable, you just repeat the same thing. PancakeSwap and Uniswap are very reliable protocols, battle tested. They are among the safest ones you can use for this type of yield. Alternatively, we could also use Aave for farming stables. So let me go here and try to see what are they paying if we deploy liquidity there. So let me go on Base because I don't want to see something on other chain. I want to compare. So the APY here, and it's not even APR, it's APY. It's lower. We got 2.5% with USDC, but this is 100% passive. That's the main difference. It compounds automatically, and then you can borrow against your collateral, maybe buy some Bitcoin when it's cheap. And by doing so, you're taking leverage, yeah, but this is just optional, of course. You can leave your stables there and you will earn some yield. In any case, guys, this is what I wanted to share with you. If you have any questions, drop a comment. Thank you for watching. Take care. Keep exploring crypto, and I'll see you in the next one.